Well, good morning, ladies. Good
Hey,
afternoon,
good
ladies.
morning, good afternoon.
Good morning and good
Right.
afternoon, because Tanya, you're on Central
Central
Time, and Matt Flo and I are on Eastern Time.
Time.
So, good morning and good afternoon to
So
our
where are you,
audience.
Tanya?
I'm out in Texas this week, so I'll be out here for a little bit. Let me pull something down off of your face. Let me see here what I got going on. So I'll be out here for a little bit this week, and still doing my thing. I had to come out to get a little work done and have a little fun with my family.
Traveling and pleasure. That's great. Ooh.
Absolutely. Hey, Renetta, are you all rested up from last week and being out in Los Angeles?
I know. I am still so excited about that trip, Tanya. It was great. Flo, if you saw our pictures, that was an amazing trip. And it was just a lot of fun. Still exercising in the big city on the West Coast was a lot of fun, and just making sure bringing back that energy, because there's a certain energy that you get when you're traveling and you're doing things, and I'm just excited to bring that energy back. So I'm catching up, but you know, but
We
it was a
did
lot of
feel
fun.
like we were jet lagged, but after you get home after a day or so, then you really do kind of have to get your body back on. So
Well, this
we're
is my health, so make sure you get your rest because that's part of being healthy.
Yes,
absolutely, absolutely,
absolutely.
we know it. We definitely know that, and we saw you flow out there hula hooping last
Yeah.
Yes,
so
Let me show off this waistline, y'all.
go
okay,
ahead,
go
Let
girl.
me
ahead,
show
go
off this
ahead.
waistline. Let
Show
me
it.
show off this waistline. All right, all right, all right.
Ooh,
Ooh,
ooh, wow.
Coming up,
yes,
coming up.
Oh my gosh.
that is
That is
fire.
Yeah, it's
fabulous.
getting there.
That
And
is
it's just the hula
wonderful.
hoop, and I hadn't added anything else yet, but I'm about to add the 10,000 steps a day challenge. I have to register today because today's the last day for it. Something Chatham County marathon for retirees is giving on, and anyone can join it. So I'm gonna start that 10,000 steps.
That
Awesome.
is absolutely, that's wonderful. You look great. So hashtag goals. That is
Yes.
absolutely wonderful. And all of this, go ahead, Tanya.
No, I was going to probably go exactly where you are. All of this is about health, and we were going to be talking about this month women's health. So,
Mm-hmm.
as you know, this weekend is Mother's Day, and because of Mother's Day and just celebrating women, we are going to be talking about health issues that women have because,
Mm-hmm.
in financial sense, we know that health is wealth.
Yes.
And we spend a lot of money on medicines, and we can save a lot of money just by being healthier. And
Mm-hmm.
so that's part of what we're doing. I mean, Renetta and I are walking and exercising, and Flo, you're hula hooping. And so that's three women here already in the mode of being active and exercising and getting our life in order. And so,
Absolutely.
go ahead.
No, absolutely. And it's important. I can't stress enough how important it is to exercise.
Mm-hmm.
Our bodies will perform. We just have to get our minds right, and our bodies will help us get to whatever our goals are, and it's that mindset. So get an accountability partner. you know uh, we come live all the time. We can be your accountability partners. Come on with us. We can do this together. We can change the outcome of our health. And we're not here saying don't take your medications. We're not saying any of that, but we're saying, get healthy. Do your body good. I say this body is the only one we've got. you
That's
know
it.
That's it. That's all we
take
have.
care of this body. And while we may add to it and do other things to it, but this body is the only one that we have, and we deserve it. We deserve to take care of it. We deserve to be well, and
Mm-hmm.
let's do that. Let's be well. So I'm excited to add more to it. So I talked to a friend, and the friend said, "Hey, we're watching. We see what you guys are doing, and we want to join in. So let's do that. Let's watch. Let's keep each other accountable, and get healthy and stay healthy."
Yes, absolutely. So today we want to get right into about being healthy. And one of the killers in our life is diabetes, right?
Absolutely.
And so we had invited the American Diabetes Association, and they weren't able to make it. And the first person that I thought about, instead of we dealing with the American Diabetes Association to give us the the statistics, let's deal with a person who has helped hundreds of people in our community and around, that has actually helped people cure themselves. I've been knowing this lady for quite some time, and she has done articles. If you all have seen the Herald or the Tribune, one of those, she's done news articles in the paper trying to help people, and she's had programs going on throughout our community for years. And we've talked several times over and over in reference to our need. And so today I'm going to introduce Miss Carolyn Guilford with Health Restoration 101. How are you, Carolyn?
I'm good. Thank you for having me today.
So glad that you're with us. Thank you for joining. Um, so we want to start. We want to start with just introducing yourself and telling everyone who you are and what you do.
Well, okay, I am a nutritionist and wellness consultant. I came to this the long way around, actually, because growing up, I wanted to be a nurse. I wanted to be a nurse because my aunt was a nurse, and I just loved how she looked in that white uniform and the white shoes. She worked at Charity Hospital on 36th Street, and I would see her as I was going to school. And as I got older, she would take me with her to see her patients. After she worked at Charity Hospital, she did home health care. And at times she would take me with her to see her patients and to see her work. So when I grew up, I became a nurse because I thought it was all about having fun and playing with the patients and rubbing their backs and their feet. It was a whole lot more than that. But in working as a nurse, I became concerned about the general health care of human beings. Because I worked in ICU, I took care of patients who were very, very sick. And I worked at night, so it was quieter at night. And during those times, I would have time to contemplate. And I began to pray. My prayer was, Lord, do not let this happen to me. These patients I took care of were some of the most ill persons you can imagine, and it was very depressing. So my original prayer was, don't let this happen to me, Lord.
Amen.
But as I grew into my job, I started to wonder what causes people to become so ill. How did this happen? Now, a lot of patients we had were car accidents or people who worked at the port and had an accident, fell off the crane, people who were in car accidents, all kinds of things. But the people who were sick from the inside out, that's what I wanted to have a better understanding of. And so time changes. I left ICU. I had several jobs in nursing field, but I was invited to work with a health study. The Southern Community Cohort Study was came to Savannah through the National Institutes of Health and the CDC and Vanderbilt University and Morehouse and many other partners. So this time around, I was exposed to the research that shows why people become so ill. And I learned a whole new thing. The game is nutrition. It is
Mm-hmm.
what we eat or what we are not eating that
Right.
will either make us healthy, keep us healthy our whole lives through, or can make us sick, keep us sick, compound the illnesses, and never be able to get well. Well, when I started to study the research and see the results of the work that we did, it changed everything. And I went back to school to learn more about nutrition to advance in this field that I fell in love with because it was the answer to those early prayers. And I have never looked back. When uh, when I left that health study, well, it left us because they packed up and moved away from Savannah. And at that point, I was offered several jobs, but they were all back to ICU, that kind of nursing that I was not ready to do again. And so I started my own company, Health Restoration Consulting, to teach clients and anybody who wants to know really how to take better care of themselves. I wouldn't say cure, Tanya, diabetes. We can reverse diabetes
All right.
by our diet and lifestyle. And it's easily done, but it takes commitment and a desire for a better life. A lot of
That.
people have never heard the story.
Mhm.
All they ever hear is that you get diabetes from sugar, too much sugar. That's a false idea. It's not about the sugar. It's about lifestyle and it's about the diet. It's what we're eating and how we think about the lives we live and how we take care of the body that we live in. And so persons hear uh, what is popular in the community. It's all about the sugar. You weigh too much. It's this and that. All of that is false. Diabetes comes from eating the wrong food, eating junk foods, eating foods we were never intended to eat, and it's bared out in Genesis. The original diet of man never was to include animals. And when we began to eat animals, we became sick and we remained sick. It became part of the culture. Everybody does it. So nobody wants to change what everybody's doing because we don't want to be different from everybody. So we do what everybody does. Everybody goes to the doctor. Everybody eats what they eat. Everybody takes the medicine, make peace in their lives with kidney failure, with all the problems that come along with diabetes. And they say, but there's nothing else to do. But there is. There's a way to eat, and we call it food as medicine. Your food should be your medicine because that's what keeps us healthy, removes the problems, brings us back to synergy, allows us to have a healthy, happy, productive life, and be disease free.
So
Disease, heart disease, diabetes, cancer, all these things come out of a poor lifestyle and the wrong eating habits.
so where do we start? So let's take them back, Miss Carolyn, because there are stages on when we probably realize that something is going on. And where do we start? Where do we start? We have a community of women here. And so as we are out exercising ourselves, we haven't changed. I'm going to be honest. I haven't changed my diet because I'm exercising. So where do I start? Where do I begin to where do I begin? Today, I'm in my 50s, heading to 60 real quick. I have not been diagnosed with diabetes, but my eating hasn't changed over these years. So I know I'm probably suffering with something. So where do I start?
You decide that you want a better quality of life. If you've not been diagnosed with anything, then you don't know that you've got anything. So you're doing what you know to do, which is to keep up an exercise routine. But most persons come to me when they have become tired of taking the medicine, or they've been seeing the same doctor for 10 years and they're not any better than they were, but in
Right.
fact worse than when they first started, and are fed up with not getting better. Most
So
persons,
So
I try to start them with the desire for better in their lives. They're already on the down slope, getting worse every year from whatever the illness is. So we want to stop the clock right there and then try to turn back the clock. And that starts with learning to eat better. But before you can learn to eat better, you have to decide that you want better. Want it with all your heart, because change is hard. And if you've been eating bologna sandwiches and Popeye's fried chicken for the last 25 years, and that's your thing, and you love that, and you love that, seeing, seeing yourself not eating that for a time, it's going to feel like the world is coming to an end. So before you can start to think about change, you got to think about saving your life,
Mm-hmm.
okay,
saving your body, wanting the best life possible.
and
And
most
so
of
so
us,
then you embrace a new way to eat.
so
right.
what are some of the first things? So for example, Tanya says she hasn't started changing her diet, and I'm working on changing my diet. There's a history of diabetes on my father's side, actually. Complications from diabetes and dialysis is one of the things that ended in my father's life end. So what, so what's that first thing? So the mindset is there. Okay, so we've
Right.
decided in our minds that, hey, we want to be better. And we also have a girlfriend who is a diabetic as well. And so what's that first step? So you've recognized that you have um, you have diabetes, or you're headed in this direction and you're exercising. So how do we start to change our diet? What are those things that we start to apply that we can mentally digest, once we've made that decision to do it? What comes next? How do we start that diet to reverse the effects?
First, you have to stop eating animals,
But
because
that's the new thing. Wait a
that
minute.
is the new thing,
That's
but
the
that
new
is the thing that works. Stop
thing.
eating animals,
Okay.
I thought
and
that's
you're
just a fad.
already on, pardon?
I thought that was just a fad. Everybody's just getting involved in plant-based. I thought it was just a fad.
It's not a fad. It is going back to the life that we were supposed to be living from the beginning. I know in our culture as African Americans, there was a time when we didn't get to choose what we ate. We ate what was left over. So now we get to choose. We go to the grocery store, buy what we buy. We can grow vegetables in our yard, but you learn to embrace the things that you do like in vegetables and make a commitment to not clog up your arteries
Mm-hmm.
and your cells and uh, your gut with too much protein, the wrong kind of protein from animal products,
Mhm.
from the fat of animal meats. Those are the things that hinders the body's ability to heal and to perform properly. And after a time, the body's not performing properly, all these illnesses begin to accumulate.
Mm-hmm.
Eat more vegetables.
Mm-hmm.
If meat is a thing for you, then you make a commitment to change that thing to a new thing,
Mm-hmm.
getting something else for yourself. instead of eating things that is going to destroy your body from the inside out. I see
And
Miss Flo, you got your hand
mhm.
up.
Yeah, because I hear what you're saying, and um, of course I'm a meat eater, but the meats I eat, I don't care for beef. I'm more of a chicken. I eat chicken every day. I eat chicken 365 days out of the year. I don't care for the other types of meat. My husband cooks for me. He knows how to cook for me. I don't do high sodium. But when you say we're going to take something out of the diet that we're used to, so everyone's used to meat because that's the way we brought up when we're starting to eat. We don't put our children on a vegetation diet, we put them on a meat
Vegetarian.
diet,
Right.
vegetarian diet. So what needs to happen is, what the question needs to be answered is this: if we're going to take out meat protein, give us some other proteins that we can replace the meat, because we need the protein in our we need the protein in our build in our bodies, part of our building process for our bodies. So give us some vegetable names of vegetables or fruits, or that's high in protein, that we can replace that protein that we need from meat, that we get from meat, if we want to change our diet. So that's one of the questions that I think needs to be answered, because we're saying take away meat, but give us replacement. What can replace that protein with the healthier protein for us?
Well, I'm glad you asked that question because it is a great, valuable answer to this question. We think because we've been eating meat for 100 years in our families that we need animal protein. The fact is, animal protein is the wrong kind of protein for human beings. So it never was any good for us. Everything that grows, every green bean, every pea, every corn, every lettuce, every collard green, everything that grows out of the ground has protein in it. And that is the right kind of protein for human beings. And we don't need as much protein as we've been told that we need. The meat industry created what's for dinner. It's meat. But it but
They got the
they're
white meat, they got the other white meat, and then they
they
got
got
pork. Oh,
everything, they got everything that they want you to buy so that you can keep them in business.
That's right.
But
hmm
every one of these animal products that have protein in it, cheese, meat, chicken, everything else that you love so dearly because we become accustomed to it, but it's harming your body.
hmm
It causes the heart attacks, the strokes, the high blood pressure, the diabetes, the kidney failure, the poor circulation, the loss of limbs, poor eyesight, everything that you were not born with when you came into this world, when you started to eat meat and started to accumulate these illnesses, they all come from eating the wrong food, food we were
hmm
not ever intended to eat.
So what
Right.
And
is
another thing, okay, go ahead.
go ahead, Flo.
Oh, something else I wanted to, get information on as well.
Okay.
It's also how we cook our foods and
Hmm.
what we cook our foods in. Everyone, we were using the conventional oven for years to either bake, and then we use oils to fry our foods. But there are appliances out there that can help our retain the nutrients in our food, such as air frying. Is a good substitute instead of frying your foods, especially if you're going to I guess if you're going to be, eating vegetables more than anything else. How you cook your foods make a difference. The appliances you use, using a crock pot, is a good way to, cook your food. Using the air fryer, and baking your vegetables instead of frying your vegetables and stuff like that. So, what are your thoughts on the appliances that people are using in order to cook their foods, for their eating? What do you say about that?
Well, we have a lot of choices. When I was in jail, when I worked at the jail,
Okay, as if we didn't know.
Yeah, I
We
worked at the
didn't get it
jail.
there.
I used to cook food in the crock pot because when I got home, I'd be starving and would be ready to eat. I fell out early with the microwave because I just never felt that it was safe
Yeah.
to be in front of or to eat the food that was prepared in it. So I had a microwave for a couple of years, but then I abandoned that. But I do like to cook. I'm a cooking girl, so I have never used an air fryer. I'm cooking on the stove, baking in the oven, and that crock pot is on top of the refrigerator. I hadn't used it in 20 something years, but it's there if I need it. But I'm a fan of sauteing vegetables and adding lots of seasonings, and that's how I cook most of the time. And I just make it very simple. I like salads, so a lot of my vegetables are in the salad, and I eat a lot of fruits, and they're mostly raw. Sometimes I'll do a juicing thing. I have a juicer and a blender, so I can do that and makes it very easy, and it makes it easy to take food or drinks with you. Just put it in a container, and you're ready to go.
Butter versus oils, and what kind of oils?
Well, butter comes
The
from animals.
sauteing. Mm-hmm.
Butter comes from animals.
Okay.
I like to use grapeseed oil, coconut oil, oils like that, vegetable oils, but not generic vegetable oils. I like good quality coconut oil and a good quality uh, grapeseed oil. But I shy away from um, olive oil because it's become so popular. A lot of companies are diluting it and
Yeah.
adding other oils to it and not putting it on the label. So you got to be very, very careful.
Right. Pay
Okay.
attention to eat
I'm
to
taking notes.
extra virgin olive oil,
Yeah,
And
EVO
we
oil.
have a
extra
question.
virgin, they can
You
add to
still
it
add to that. Yeah.
and not disclose it. And so then you don't know what you're getting.
So we had a question from Ansley Harrison that asked whether or not organic is really better. Is organic really better?
Organic is wholly better. All the food that we used to grow was grown organically. But now science is the thing. So they found ways to make vegetables and all kinds of food, vegetables, fruit, animals, everything grow bigger, faster,
Yeah.
quicker, and it's with the chemicals that they add to it. Those chemicals are not always good for us, for the
Right.
body human. So I lean toward organic vegetables. Once in a while, if I'm having a fit for cauliflower or something and I don't find organic in the store, I'll settle for the regular non-organic. But my desire is always to choose organic because it's better for me. And this is my body that I'm going to live in, hopefully healthily and happily until I'm 99 and a half or more. I don't want to be sick. I have no desire to make any, uh, uh, I don't, the word I'm looking for. I'm just not trying to shortchange myself or make some unnecessary choices.
So we also have another question that said, tell us about carbs.
Oh, carbs get such a bad rap. Carbs get
They
such a
do.
bad rap. They say carbs are bad. Everything has carbs in it, except meat, of course. But
Mhm.
meat is the thing that is making us sick. High blood, high blood pressure, heart disease, cancer, all of that comes from the meat industry. Meat is what's for dinner. But carbs, the choice you need to make about carbs is, are you eating a cauliflower? Are you eating corn? Are you eating whole grain um, flour, or are you eating
White.
cookies? Are you eating cookies? Are you drinking sodas? Because those are the bad carbs. But the corn and the rice, the whole grain rice, those are the good carbs. Potatoes are the good carbs. But we've been told, see, when they talk about carbs, they don't make a distinction between
Right.
the good and the bad. If you're eating Ritz crackers, that's not a good carb.
Right.
That's not the one. Choose the mashed potatoes, the rice, the grits, uh, the whole grain flour, and make your pancakes. Those are the good carbs. And it's easy to tell if it comes in a package like a cookie and it's got all the ingredients written on the back, that's the bad carb.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yep. So, I've been in the room with you before, and we probably were the only vegetarians in the room. And
And
so
a lot of
you
times
normally,
it's for
you
me.
taught me to eat before I go or eat before I come.
Take food with you.
That's right. Bring food with me.
Mhm.
And I pretty much practice that. So anytime I go to an event, I've already eaten because I know that they're not going to have something for me. Um,
Exactly.
but I am, and like I said last week, a fat vegetarian because I
Well, that
love.
can happen. That
Uh,
can happen. I love to eat myself, and
yeah,
I do not deny myself because I do love to eat. I love to cook. I'm happy with my food because I know it's clean and it's got all the right ingredients. It was washed before it was cooked. The hands were washed before they started to cook it. I'm comfortable with it. Uh,
yes,
Mm-hmm.
but I also know, and I tell people, when you had a baby and you took your baby out for the day, wherever you went, you carried food with you for the baby because you didn't go to the doctor's office or to the wherever you went to visit your friends or shopping and expect to find somebody there who's got food for your baby. No, you brought your food
True.
for your
That
baby
is
with
true.
you. And so that's how I am. I am my baby. And if I'm going someplace to eat or someplace where they're going to have food, I'm not counting on them having what I need
right.
or
So, do
that
you
their food
promote growing
is
your own food?
appropriate for me. I'm sorry.
Do you promote growing your own food? Actually, we have
Absolutely.
another question.
Absolutely. You know what you're putting, you know what kind of fertilizer you're using. You know if you're using chicken meal or some chemicals that now there's a recall on. You know how to grow good food.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I
Yeah,
have
And
a
I
let's
think
share a
every
link.
excuse me, I think everyone should grow something that they can eat because it gives you a new appreciation of food and
I
from
agree
where it
with that.
comes. Yeah.
Yeah.
absolutely.
I have an
So,
orange tree, a
Pardon?
peach tree, a lemon tree, an
Mm-hmm.
apple tree, and my
Yeah.
husband about to get a plum tree.
oh, that's
Or
awesome.
grow some greens in a pot or some herbs.
Yeah.
Or grow some stevia. I have a stevia plant
Um,
that
You the herb girl? Okay.
a friend gave me a stevia plant several years ago, and it is still on my back porch. I pulled some leaves off it this morning to put in my tea that I was making.
That's awesome.
I
you know,
like
a
that.
window garden is easy when you're growing herbs. You know,
Absolutely.
you
Do
can
that.
divide it in the tray, so you're getting the natural light. But a window garden is a very easy way to grow your own herbs. So that's an idea.
Absolutely.
That's an idea as well. You know, and I wanted to really talk about, statistics. We're looking up some information, and statistically, for African American women, diabetes is reaching epidemic proportions, and research is showing that 1 in 4 um, African American women, especially those aged 55 and older, they're saying will have diabetes. So we have to make sure, that we're doing all of those things and talking to our audience who's younger than that, getting on that right path that of what you're talking about, as far as understanding now what you can do so that you're not one of those 1 in 4 statistics. Because if you're talking about 1 in 4, that's 25% of
Exactly.
the population. That is huge.
That's a
Mm,
lot.
And
That's a lot.
that's absolutely a lot of people. And as I mentioned before, they say, hey, in your family, this could definitely happen if you're not careful. So what are some tips? I know you're saying grow your own food. Make sure that you're eating more, more plant-based things. Give us an idea of what a typical, like when you're going out to restaurants, or even when you're at home, what does a dinner plate, so that we have some ideas, what does a dinner plate look like when you're trying to make sure that that's a healthy meal that you're having, and especially for young people as well. How can we prepare our dinner plate?
The plate should have some greens on it, should have some corn on it, some mashed potatoes or sweet potatoes, beans, rice, what the things that you like, and try to make a variety of things that you do like. So your plate is not just a plate full of greens, although I've done that, or just a whole salad in a bowl. I've done that with lots of different things in it. But it depends on who you are and how you like to eat. Sometimes I just have a salad, but
Right.
then there are other times when I'll have a plate with 4 or 5 different vegetables and a side of fruit with that. It just depends on what you like. It doesn't have to conform to anybody else's idea of what's appropriate, as long as you have a variety of fruits and vegetables, things that you like. Don't try to make yourself fall in love with something that you never liked. It may come, it may come.
Right.
You start out with the things that you do like.
So, Carolyn, you have written a book, and just tell us about your book and what you have there, and also your health restoration program.
Okay, thank you. Let me tell you about the book. You spoke earlier about the columns that I did in the in the Tribune and in the Herald, but I also had a 6-year run of a column in the Savannah Morning News. And it was a question and answer column. I loved that so much. I had so much fun. Each week, I would select a question that someone sent to me, and I would answer their question, and it would be published in the newspaper. So in 2016, the first generation of this book, A Question of Health, was published. And I always said I had so much material because it was a weekly column for 6 years that I would do volume 2 and 3. Well, I got busy, put it on the back burner, and last year I decided I would do book 2. So this one now, A Question of Health, uh, is the second book, but the first one was A Question of Health, Nutrition, the Foundation of Health. It starts here. This new one is Creating the Life You Really Want. And the second book was so hard to get out, it worked me overtime and into the night. But now that it's done and I'm restoring myself from the agony of this book and thinking now, maybe I will do the third book. It's all questions that people ask in the column, and I would answer those questions. And questions about how not to have a stroke, how to heal from a stroke, lots of questions about diabetes, what kind of sweetener if we don't want to use white sugar. I started talking about stevia, and so that's how I came to inherit the stevia plant. And just lots and lots of questions, even questions about exercise and how it affects your life overall and your health, your heart in particular. So finally, the second book is available.
Congratulations.
Yes,
Where
congratulations.
can we obtain your books? Are you on Amazon or where can we get your books?
Yes, the first book is on Amazon. This second book has not been submitted yet to Amazon, but you can write me, call me, and I can mail you a copy and make sure you get it. Or we can meet for a salad.
I'll meet you for a salad. What's your price range so our audience would know what's your price range on your books?
The book is $20.
Okay, great. Great.
It's a healer. So tell us about your program. You also have a program where you consult people with consultation and help people get their life together that have diabetes. You still have that going on?
I do, and I enjoy it so much. Uh, I work with clients who have diabetes. It's a 10-week program of information, homework to do,
Mm.
skills to master, doing things toward changing your life because change is not always easy. When I switched from eating meat, it was easy for me because I didn't want to be one of those patients that I had in ICU. The surgeries that they had to have when they came back from surgery, there were times when I actually cried because I didn't want this to be me. And I wanted to know what could change the lives of these people so that they could have bypassed this whole episode. So I teach people how to make the lifestyle changes and then coach them so that they stay on purpose. They do the exercises, we talk about it. We used to meet in person, but it's been online, Zoom, and by telephone since the pandemic. And one of the things I like to do with clients is to go with them to the grocery store and show them how to actually read labels and understand the labels and then to put that product back. Because if it's got a lot of ingredients, you don't know what they are, we can look them up, but they're not going to be things that you want to put in your body. Not if you want to live a long time, be medication free, disease free, see your doctor every 2 years for a checkup. When they call, you say, no, I'm not coming. I'll wait till next year. Because you're not relying on that. You're relying on your body being able to heal itself, which it can do. Healing is built into the body, but it only is activated when we give the body what it truly needs. And I don't start my clients with exercise. I start with thought change, a change of the mindset, start to eat properly. And folk who have never exercised in their whole lives are so happy, so energetic that they'll start to do things and then call it exercise.
Awesome. Awesome. That is so awesome.
And in 10 weeks, diabetes can be reversed. Now, if you go back to the old habits, eating that cheese and hog maw and what is that other thing people like, pig
Oh, my
feet,
husband can't get away from that pig's feet.
get away from that. If you go back to it, the diabetes will come back. And that's why I hesitate to call it a cure, but it's definitely reversible and will remain reversed as long as you take care of yourself in this new way.
So, Miss Carolyn, are you saying that a person that has insulin diabetic can heal themselves? I mean,
Yes,
I'm going to use heal
yes,
themselves.
absolutely. It's been done over and over and over. Even patients who had kidney failure and had started dialysis have gone off of dialysis and their kidneys have begun to work again. This body was made to heal itself. We many times get in the way of that because we've never been told that there's this possibility. And if you stick with the meds and you stick with the doctor and you get every procedure he wants you to have, you're not going to learn this because he's not going to ever tell you.
No, he's not. So, are there any doctors in the Savannah area that really have a more holistic um, practice? I'll just say a holistic practice than
Yeah,
your
yeah.
regular.
And I would be happy to share that information with you. but not on this forum.
Of
Yes,
course.
ma'am.
There are some doctors that I would love to see folk go to because they're going to be honest and forthcoming with you and allow you to own your body and do the things that you want and have the outcome that you want for yourself.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Wow. So in our last 5 minutes,
Oh, last.
and
Oh,
in our
my
last,
last 5 minutes, because I have to say something. I have to tell you a true story. And it
Okay.
take a minute. Because you, Carolyn, I'm going to tell you, you said diabetes can be reversed. I'm a living witness to that because my grandmother had diabetes for many years. And my mama used to have to fuss with her and fight with her to actually give her that shot.
Mhm.
Until my grandmother said one day, I'm not taking that shot no more. Don't give me that stuff no more. Because she was bedridden. She could not get up and do anything because of her diabetes. And she refused to take it. Mama couldn't do anything because she was forcing to take that insulin shot every day. My grandmama got up out of that bed the next day. She was always a person that cooked, that basically grew her own vegetables and all this stuff here. She started getting back in the yard, get up, exercising every day in the yard by cleaning the yard up every day,
Mhm.
cooking, her vegetables and bang, bang, bang. That put another 20 years on her life. She did not use any more insulin from that day forward. It put another 20 years. So I had an additional 20 years with my grandmama because she refused to take that medicine and she just basically did what she know, grow your own.
Mhm.
She still ate meat, but it was like chicken. It was not, all the heavy other stuff.
Mhm.
Grow your own, get out in the yard, do something every day, and it put 20 years extra on her life.
that's
That
awesome.
is
Uh,
wonderful. I love
and
stories
that was
like
20
that.
years that I had to share with my grandmama.
Thank you. I
True story.
appreciate that.
And before we go, one other thing I want you to do for me. I want to order 5 books. I want them autographed. If you
Oh,
don't
look at
mind.
you.
I want 5 books. I want you autographed for Matt Flo, Renetta Milner Gardner, Tanya Scott Pilcher, Anthony Murray, and Julius Hall. So get me
Wow.
5 books, autograph them. The
Thank you.
other 2 girls are here. Julius Hall is one of the guys, and Anthony Murray is the other one.
Mm.
So if you give me 5 books, I cash after you. I'll have you want me to get it to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I
Awesome.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you,
Thank
Flo.
you,
You're
Flo.
welcome.
Thank
Thank
you.
you
Thank
so
you so
much.
much. Thank
Thank
you so
you.
much.
Okay. So again, now on our last 4 minutes, just tell our community whatever you really want them to know. Just give them, give them you.
Okay. I like for people to honor the body that they came here in. It's the only one we're ever going to have. And I've seen so many people's lives cut short because they didn't have the information that would have allowed them to save their lives, to live a long time, to be happy, comfortable, content in the life that they had, and to be able to do the things that they dreamed of doing going forward. I hate to see a person's life cut short or cut down, isolated because they're not able to do what their life's joy is. So I tell people you have to take charge of it. You can't let somebody else be in charge of your body, your life, who you are, what you do. You have to make decisions for yourself, and you have to know yourself well enough to be your own advocate, to say no when you mean no, say yes when you mean yes, and not be influenced by what somebody else wants you to do. You do you. Own your body, own your life. Say, this is me, and I don't compromise. I do me all the time. I want folk to own their lives.
Awesome. That
And
is
when you do that, then you make the best choices in the world for you. You're not caring what other folk think. You don't care that they're looking at your plate and say, shaking their head. No, no, no. This is for me. You do you.
yes,
Baby,
Own
ma'am.
it.
that's awesome.
I
That
like
is
it.
awesome. And again, everything starts here.
Say it
Yeah,
again.
in the mind.
You know, if you get
Oh,
your
yeah.
mind
Yeah,
focused, we can accomplish anything.
that is true. But a lot of
Right
times
mindset.
fall into letting somebody else tell us what to do, and we feel like we need to do that. We need to banish that and always honor your own thoughts and
Mhm.
your own mind. Do what you want to do.
Amen.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. So if anyone wants to reach out to Miss Carolyn Guilford, you can go to her website at healthrestoration101.com.
Yeah.
Again, that's healthrestoration101.com. We've been running it along the bottom. She has an awesome program. You know, just think about your body and yourself and what you want to do for yourself. We can actually be here till 100, right, Miss Carolyn?
Oh, and beyond.
That's right.
And beyond. I met a lady the other day. She's 103 in an exercise class at Candler Hospital. Can you imagine? She's
No.
not sitting at home in a rocking chair watching commercials on TV. She was at a chair aerobics class.
Oh, that's
103.
awesome.
Yes.
Yes,
And people can live a long time, but if you got illnesses piling on top of each other, it's hard to do.
Right.
absolutely.
Absolutely.
So we thank you so very much for being with us today. Again, if you want to reach out and get her book, you can go to her website and reach Miss Carolyn on the website at healthrestoration101.com. And again, she has an awesome program, and we thank everyone for being with us today. Miss Carolyn, we thank you so much for being here and sharing this important information. Definitely, this is the time for women to continue to work on self because, you know, we rule the world. And
Absolutely.
so we're going to be here and we want to be here forever. So why not just work on what you're putting inside your body? The rest of the month, we're going to be talking about different health issues. I believe next week we have 2 guests that are coming out. Who are those again, Renetta?
The American Heart Association and Curtis V. Cooper Primary Health System.
Yes. And so we'll be talking with both of them in reference to heart disease and I was about to say and a cure, but nah.
No. But heart disease, women's health. We're going to talk about women's mental health, and we know how important that is. So we're going to continue this series on women's health. We're excited. Happy Mother's Day.
Yes, happy Mother's
All
Day.
of the mothers out there, and we look forward to continuing the conversations because we know that's where it starts, opening a conversation. And so we'll see you guys next week, same time. So for now, I am Renee Milner Gardner. As always, I say, make it a great day.
Hey, this is Mad Flow, making a difference for life and others. And I have to say, Carolyn Guilford, guess what? I can see an evident how you take care of yourself because your skin is absolutely
Flawless.
gorgeous.
Flawless.
I mean,
So
your
is yours.
skin
All you ladies
is
are beautiful.
absolutely gorgeous. And I know it's evident because of how you eat and how you take care of yourself. Thank you for being a guest. Get my books to us, and you have a great day as well. But this is making a difference for life and others. Mad Flow.
All right. And I'm Tanya Scott Pilcher. As always, live life like there is no tomorrow. You all have a great one, and we look forward to seeing you on next Friday. All right.
I'll be in Spain. I'll be coming from Spain next Friday. So taking all my equipment, see if I can get in there.
All right. We look forward to it.
Thanks, Carolyn.
Thank you.
All
I
right.
enjoyed it so
Renata,
much.
see you, Tanya. I'm going to enjoy my book.
Okay. You all hold tight. Thank you. Hold on.
Bye.
Like that. to